This is 550 through 556 Carlton Avenue in Prospect Heights, a group of 4 homes designed by the Parfitt brothers in, don't have the year, but late 1800s, 1880s, maybe late 1870s. Here are 2 more houses on 8th Avenue, 64 and 66 8th Avenue, between Lincoln Place and Union Avenue in Park Slope. And this red brick building on the corner is also quite eye-catching. I'm gonna have to find out who designed that. Let's take a look at it from across the street. And looking back to the northeast, beautiful. 8th Avenue has really got some of the nicest, most significant brownstones on it. And that's saying something for Park Slope, where it's really tough to stand out. But 8th Avenue, the brownstones are just a little bit more substantial, a little taller. One of the former mayors of New York lived in this stretch of 8th Avenue, Park Slope. This is St. Augustine's Roman Catholic Church in Park Slope on 6th Avenue between Sterling and Park Place, designed by the Parfitt brothers, built in 1897. It's described as their best church. Look at that steeple and that tower, gigantic. And I'd have to say it's one of the most beautiful churches in Brooklyn and in the whole city. And I'm pretty sure way back in the day I went to a wedding in this church. Could have been a different Catholic church. There's more than one on 6th Avenue, and 6th Avenue here in Park Slope has a lot of churches. So it's tough to pick one over the other. And this is the parish house on the same piece of property. Parfitt brothers, I've read, were not Catholic, but as long as the Catholic Church didn't mind, they could design churches for them. Beautiful. If I did go to this church, the reception was held at the Montauk Club up by Prospect Park. So those are both beautiful, significant buildings. The couple had good architectural taste. Unfortunately, they didn't stay together. Okay. Parfitt Brothers, 1897, St. Augustine's Catholic Church, Park Slope, 6th Avenue, Sterling and Park Place, Brooklyn. This is the Parfitt Brothers Methodist, Grace United Methodist Church in Parsonage on 7th Avenue at St. John's Place in Park Slope. The church was built 1882 to 83. And the parsonage in 1887. It's kind of Romanesque Gothic, but it's described as being one of the Parfitt brothers' best churches. I don't know how many churches they designed. I know they designed the Catholic Church on 6th Avenue, but it's beautiful nonetheless. This is the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church at Decatur Street and I just had it. Lewis Avenue, designed by Parfitt brothers, described by one of the critics as superb Romanesque revival. Originally it was a Methodist church. Just look at the surrounding neighborhood here on Decatur Street. We're in the Stuyvesant Heights Historic District. Look at these towers here on each end. Beautiful brick color too. 1894. I thought it would have been a little earlier. That's the year I have. Parfitt Brothers, Decatur Street and Lewis Avenue, Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, 1894. I see the house I'm looking for coming up Brooklyn Avenue at Dean Street, because it stands out. It's the Treslow Mansion, designed and built in the late 1880s. I have various dates, so let's just say late 1880s, by the Parfitt brothers. And Mr. Treslow was involved in a lot of things. One of it was the coal business, back when everybody used coal for their furnaces. Let's just look at the neighborhood down Dean Street, and this is Crown Heights in Brooklyn. Looking down Brooklyn Avenue. It's always very quiet after the traffic goes through the intersection. So let's take a closer look. So it's 96 Brooklyn Avenue. Used to be one house, now it's subdivided into apartments. And I'd read it had really fallen into disrepair, but it looks pretty fixed up. I know there was a period where it was all fixed up, so it seems to be holding. Here in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Parfitt Brothers, late 1880s, Queen Anne. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the Treslow Mansion's next door neighbor, which has fallen on hard times and needs a renovation. If anybody wants to invest in Brooklyn real estate, here's your place right here, right next door to this beautiful mansion on Brooklyn Avenue. How would you like to live right next to a huge armory like these people here, these brownstones? Sorry about the car alarm. You just can't avoid it forever. It shatters the quiet of the neighborhood. But this is the 13th Regiment Armory, and the original armory was designed by Rudolph Douse, and then I think they're going to shut it off here in a sec. They figured it out. So the original armory was designed by Rudolph Douse. We're walking west down Jefferson Avenue in Bed-Stuy. And then the Parfitt brothers designed an extension. And could this be the whole extension, this whole long part? And let me just get the years. Douse, his part was in the 1800s. 1894, and the Parfitt brothers designed the extension in 1906. That's when that was built. So it could be a case where the extension is way bigger than the original. Let's see, here's some of the brownstones on Jefferson Avenue here. We're just east of Marcus Garvey Boulevard. Roof is in good shape. Scaffolding around the front. It's holding up pretty well for an 1894 building, which is not that old, really. It's a real tower there. So this, I talked about it elsewhere, the 23rd Regiment Armory. So this is the 13th. And I don't know how the numbering scheme goes. I don't really understand why they built so many armories, especially in Brooklyn. It's for the National Guard, I guess, to train at. But I'll bet you there's not a whole lot of people in the National Guard from Brooklyn like there maybe used to be. So when we get across the street, we'll get a better vantage point. Alright. Looking south down Marcus Garvey. So this had to be the part designed by Rudolph Douse in 1894. And the Parfitt brothers just wanted to work, so they didn't mind building an extension to another architect's original design. Parfitt brothers were prolific. And we'll just walk up to Putnam Avenue, which I keep seeing, but I don't have any houses on Putnam to record. So this is 357 Marcus Garvey Boulevard between Jefferson and Putnam Avenues in Bed-Stuy. Rudolph Douse, 1894.